Anthony Smith contends that Khalil Rountree poses a more serious challenge because of his explosive and unpredictable striking style, rather than Magomed Ankalaev, who weighs 205 pounds and isn't Alex Pereira's hardest test. Although Smith admits that Anvi's skill set differs from Pereira's previous opponents, he notes that he doesn't make the most of it and that Anv has some wrestling skills. Smith states that he only used takedowns against Jan Blaha when his legs were weak, and he was desperate. Although Smith thinks Anvi won't be able to defeat Pereira in the leg kick battle, he thinks Ari is a bigger threat because of his inventiveness and explosiveness on the feet, as opposed to Anvi's reliance on a basic but predictable striking strategy, using jabs, hooks, and basic combinations. Rountrees are far less common. Pereira may face a considerably more serious challenge from his power and unpredictable nature than from Analia's systematic and disciplined hitting because of his dynamic offensive and risk-taking nature. Pereira might be forced into awkward situations in round 3, where his typical accuracy might not be as useful.
He has a different set of skill sets, or he has a different skill set compared to the other guys, but he doesn't really use it. He only really shot in the Jan Blachowicz fight because he had no legs left. And he says he's not going to wrestle. I have no reason to not believe him. You know, he says that he thinks he can strike with him. So I think that a guy like Khalil Rountree is a more difficult challenge for Pereira. And let me explain to you guys why. Because here we go. Here comes the people saying I'm fucking crazy. Magomed Ankalaev is basic. He's a very simple fighter. And I don't mean that's not meaning he's not very good. That's not me saying that he's not extremely effective. He's very, very effective at what he does, but he's very basic. It's 1s and 2s and 3s, the occasional front kick up the middle, the occasional head kick. But for the most part, it's jabs, hooks, and crosses, and he's very fundamentally sound. He's hard to get to because his hands are always in the right spot. He's never really out of position. He really does do everything right. But he's predictable.
Malikawa, Ilya Tapu's manager, recently spoke out about the fighter's switch to lightweight, implying that Dana White has approved El Matador's bid for the championship. During their conversations, the manager noted that no one had informed them that Ilya would not be permitted to compete for the title. He said that opportunity has not been blocked by any remark. The manager said that it wouldn't make sense for the promotion to allow Tapia to fight anybody else while he still holds his belt, implying that Dana has already given them the all clear for the bout. He underlined that, given his ability to knock opponents out, this bout might be among the biggest the UFC does presently, second only to a Jones versus Aspen bout. According to him, the Georgian has the capacity to become a major celebrity in the sport, perhaps even surpassing Conor McGregor's level of notoriety. The manager concluded by noting that although the specifics are still being worked out, the battle will take place if all parties are on board, and that negotiations are still going on. With a possible showdown looming this summer, it is evident from the manager's remarks that Dana White has given Pura the all clear to pursue his title aspirations.
To do something, and we don't just jump from here to there without having the conversations and certain things. So no one told us that we couldn't fight for the title. And to this day, no one has said that you're not fighting for the title. So, that I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there out of respect to everybody else on the other side and what they're trying to do. No one's told me, no, this is not happening. Let me just put it to you like that. Well, I don't know if it even makes sense for them as a promotion to allow him to fight anybody else when he's a champion. And if we're being honest, this is probably the biggest fight you can make right now outside of Bones versus Aspinall. So, I think here's what the fear is for a lot of people is that what if he does beat Islam, right? Then you're talking about this is the biggest star in the sport at that point in a long, long time. We sit in negotiations all day long and we talk about things all day long, right? Everybody that's involved in anything to do with any of this stuff wants all these fights to happen, right? I'll just leave it at that. And if the answer to everybody else is yes, those certain things happen, then yes, the fight will happen.
Justin Gaethje discussed why he accepted a short-notice match against Rafael Fev following a knockout loss in his prior contest in an interview with the Ma Life. Justin can't wait to return to the cage and avenge his loss. He has stated that every opponent in the division is dangerous and is committed to making amends. He thought about his choices and concluded that FV was the greatest option for his comeback. The highlight had hoped for a bout with Arman Kukan or Charles Oliva, but he could see why such fighters would not want to face him right now. Additionally, he stated that Moano had offered to fight him, but after all of Justin's hard work, the Brazilian eventually backed out. It no longer seemed possible to avoid fighting. Additionally, he thanked Fev for accepting his role as the underdog and coming halfway around the world to battle. He added that his competitive spirit is fueled by being counted out, which is how he thrives. Every fighter at the top level has that advantage, Justin admitted, adding that you won't survive the battle itself if you don't take things personally. He was direct, it's all business. You're either on his side or he's trying to beat you. Not physically, of course.
I got my ass knocked out last fight, and I'm dying to get back in there and get that back. At the end of the day, all these guys are very, very dangerous. And we went through our options. I wanted Sorokin or Oliveira, but if I was them, I would never take the fight. And I do not blame them for that. Moicano piped up and then did not take the fight. That was my best option. And then it was just not fight. And I've been working so hard that that really wasn't an option for me. He just said thank you. I'm grateful for him too. He was halfway across, or probably more than halfway across the world, however big the world is. But and he took the fight. He came over here. So I applaud him for that. And I love to perform, and I'm ready to perform. So I wasn't, I was trying to make it happen. It's crazy. I'm 6-3 as an underdog, so I love being the underdog. Every single one of us that get to this level is probably a petty motherfucker in a way.
Fans were upset when Magomed Ankalaev recently disclosed that he had to break his Ramadan fast in advance of UFC 313. He had been keeping the fast rigorously since February 28th, and even claimed that going without food had strengthened him during the UFC 313 countdown episode. In a recent interview with AgFight, he acknowledged that he had to ease up on the fastest a difficult weight cut was ahead as fight night drew closer, although he stressed that he had been fasting during Ramadan and would continue to observe the religious rules after the fight. Anive's explanation that he needed to drink water to maintain optimal performance caused him to break the fast a few times during the week before the fight. This decision, however, didn't sit well with some fans who felt that it went against the spirit of Ramadan. One day after Alex Pereira accused him of using his Ramadan fast for attention, Anvi made some intriguing remarks. Pereira hinted that Anvi might be preparing a defense if he fails at UFC 313 this weekend. Who do you want to see this weekend? Which do you believe will win, Alex Pereira or Magomed Ankalaev? Comment below. That's all MMA Psycho has to say. Please remember to subscribe for daily MMA news, music, and thank you for watching.